I am here at Yallwest with author Adam Silvera.
Hello.
And he's the author of his newest one, They Both Die at the End, comes out
September 5th. Yeah.
Woohoo! And then we have More Happy Than Not.
First book.
Yes. And then History Is All You Left Me.
Second book.
Woohoo! I know, I definitely went out of order there.
Yeah,
but
it's fine.
So, did you always dream of becoming a writer, or did you have another career path in mind?
Yeah, I definitely have always wanted to write. Like, I've been writing since I was 11, like fan fiction for Harry Potter and Charmed and Supernatural. And I did have ambitions to be a wrestler at one point as well. Like, I mean, I was like raised on like watching wrestling with my brother, and I wanted to be an actor at one point too. But like, writing sort of allows me to like inhabit different characters the way acting would. So, and I get to do that from the comfort of my home without like long overnight shoots.
Yeah.
You know? So I think I'm sticking with writing for a bit.
It is kind of like acting because you really are like embodying different characters. That's a interesting way to think about that.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest challenges that you have come across?
You know, like I think the biggest challenge for me so far has been after I wrote my first book, I thought, oh, I've written a book. Now every book I write is going to be easy, you know, and that was not the case.
Yeah,
like
the hard part's done. Like I finished it.
And then I even, you know, like I drafted my third book almost immediately after selling my first book. What's going to be my third book was the second book I ever wrote. But but then my second book came out first, and it was actually like a really difficult book. Like my first book took me 2 months to draft. My third book, History Is All You Left Me, second book, took me 13 months to draft. And
oh my gosh.
so it was just like, and you know, it was one of those like hard lessons that it's like, okay, every book is going to be different, every book is going to demand something else from you, but you always feel better for it at the end, you know, like I feel really happy in my new awareness that the books all are like trial and error, and it'll take a while to figure out how it works, but once it clicks, like, you're going to feel great.
Which character was the hardest to write?
Hardest character, probably in my upcoming book, They Both Die at the End, Mateo and Rufus, because Aaron in More Happy Than Not and Griffin in History Is All You Left Me, like they both really come from me, and They Both Die at the End was the first time that I was writing from characters that had a piece of my heart, but like not maybe necessarily all the mechanics of it and everything. So it's just like I was really creating characters from scratch for the first time, and it took me a lot of drafts until I got their voice down, like because it's the first time I'm publishing a book where it's from two different narrators. So like I want to, and they're both first person. Like I wanted to make sure that their voices were distinctive. Like my editor had said, he was like, if we drop this book at one point, we drop it on the floor and we pick it up and we just see the page, we should know whose voice it is, sort of deal. So I worked really hard to make sure that if you drop the book because you're a clumsy person or whatever, that like when you pick it back up, you're gonna be like, oh, that's Mateo or that's Rufus. So
I tested out.
yeah. But only share it with us if I pass.
Yeah, exactly. It's success.
Yeah. Like, I did the test. I couldn't figure it out. You suck.
No, just kidding. Do you have a scene or character that you're particularly proud of?
Yeah, I think in More Happy Than Not, I'm really proud of this chapter. I have chapter titles for it, and I'm now forgetting the name of it. I think it's like chapter 7 or something. It's like basically when Aaron is talking to Thomas, the boy he begins to fall for the first time, and they're talking about like some of the struggles he's had in the past and everything. Like, and they're like on this rooftop in the South Bronx, and that chapter's always felt really special to me. And yeah, and then I have like a really in History Is All You Left Me, I have a scene that I really love. That's like, and it's sort of like a revenge scene, and like for those who've read it, like you'll know what I'm talking about. Like I was like really excited to write that scene, but it's a spoiler, so I can't just.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Who got the very first copy of your book, arc or finished copy? Like, who do you remember like? Giving your book to?
Yeah, I always remember that. So my best friend Lewis got the first copy of More Happy Than Not. Yeah, he got like the first signed copy, you know, too, and first copy as well.
Special.
Yeah, and same for History Is All You Left Me. My best friend Lewis got the same one. For They Both Die at the End, my best friend Cecilia, she got the first one. Mainly because the book's going to be half dedicated to her, and she has like, the best friend character in that book is inspired by her, and yeah, and a little bit, I came up with that idea while I was with her when her first child was born. And then, so I just visited her again in time for when her second child was born. And I got the arc like the day before, so it was like
that's
perfect,
so special.
perfect storm.
I love it. Do you have any like embarrassing fanboy moments with another like celebrity or author or anything?
Yeah, so I have many.
So do I.
So I met Suzanne Collins, author of The Hunger Games, at the launch event for Mockingjay. So like she did maybe I think one event because she had like a bad wrist and everything, and she wasn't really touring. And so I went to her launch party, and I walked up to her. I was like, thank you so much for coming. She was like, oh, like, thank you for coming. I was like, no, thank you. And like, and it was just like, I was like, just like aggressive fanboy. And, but yeah, and I'm just like, it's so cool. Like, I mean, she couldn't like personalize, but she had the stamps, and it was super awesome. It was definitely one of my favorite author interactions ever.
That kind of reminds me when I was last year at Comic-Con. I met J.J. Abrams.
Oh my god.
And so like when we were in line for Comic-Con, like he had bought like the first like 100 people in line donuts. First thing I do when I walk up to him is I shake his hand. I was like, thank you for the 9 donuts.
For the 9 donuts?
The line donuts.
Oh, I was like, you had 9? No. I was like, so there's 91 people who didn't get donuts because you took 9.
I took all 100 donuts. Yeah. No, I literally walked up and I was like, thank you for the line donuts. And he just busted out laughing. He's like, I thought he was like, that's not what I was expecting you to say.
That's awesome. And I'm over here, so I just finished a signing where I'm giving out golden Oreos. And I was feeling really good about that. I'm like, wow, I need to like buy donuts now. Like,
nah, this is J.J. Abrams thing.
That's
it's
amazing.
just like giving out donuts. What books, movies, or TV shows did you like as a kid?
I was a big fan of Harry Potter, obviously. Like I have a Harry Potter tattoo. It's the spell ridiculous. And just a big fan of, major obsessive fan of Charmed and Supernatural, and yeah, like those were definitely like my shows. Like yeah, like I'm working on something right now that like it feels like I was meant to write this book because of like my love for like those childhood stories and everything, and I'm so excited to have that out of the world.
I have a Harry Potter tattoo. Like, I have
oh my god, legit!
On my books. There.
I have a friend who, so when I got the ridiculous tattoo, I went with 2 friends who at this bookstore that I was working at. My friend Chris got Harry's glasses and the scar, and my friend Anya, she got the stars around the page numbers.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted something Harry Potter on my tattoo, but I don't want it to be like Harry Potter.
Yeah,
so
you don't want like a snitch or like
exactly. And so my tattoo artist was
Hollows,
like, what about the stars? And I was like, that's brilliant.
It is, yeah.
Oh. So people like will see it. They're like, oh my god. They're like, is that from Harry Potter?
Or they're just like, oh, it's stars. It's pretty. Like,
yeah,
it also,
exactly.
like, it doesn't demand an explanation if you if they're not a Harry Potter fan.
Exactly. I was like, yeah. So what's your writing process like?
So it varies per book, which is what I learned after realizing that no one book will demand the same thing of you. But lately I've been sort of like, I have like a loose outline of what or things that I want to happen. So I guess sort of if you want us to look at it like as if my story was the alphabet. Like I often know A, B, C, D. Then like I know like L, M, and then I know like, you know, S, T and everything, and then like I have to like figure out like how to get all the other letters.
So it's like a little puzzle, like you have bits and pieces.
Yeah, and it's just like, or like, you know, just like connect the dot things or whatever.
Okay.
And it's just like, I guess that's probably a better analogy. And like, but yeah, so I mean, it's just like, you know, I write like a chapter at a time, of course, and I always write in order. Like I know, I know some writers can write like, you know, chapter 30 if that's what they're feeling.
Yeah, I've heard that. They're like the middle and then the end and then the beginning.
I can't. Like for me, I'm like, what? Chapter 30 is probably something I'm really excited about. Like I was like, I want to earn it. You know,
like work up to it.
Yeah, and then because I feel like if I write it, then I'm gonna feel sort of like, oh, well, now I don't want to do the other stuff. And maybe
you write the good one first. You're like, all right.
And like, and maybe that's wrong. Like maybe I would feel differently if I actually did it. But that's the kind of fear that's holding me back from allowing myself to do that.
Like experimenting that way.
Yeah, and I also just like I don't want to because I'm not a tight outliner. I don't want to feel like I am anticipating the entire needs of the story. Like I'm working on something right now that like literally, I thought I knew A, I thought I knew B, C, D and everything. Literally, first line, these characters reintroduced themselves to me in a completely different relationship than I was planning for them. Like they were supposed to be love interests, and all of a sudden they were siblings. And I'm like,
okay,
very different.
a little bit.
Yeah, but I was just like, and it was really completely changed the story for me in a way that I'm now obsessed with. Like
Okay.
I didn't realize I wanted to write a sibling story, and so yeah, that's a sneak peek. That's something I'm working on now. But, like,
After you finish a book, do you have any traditions or routines that you do to, like, I don't know, celebrate or de-stress?
I
or
sleep.
whatever? Good plan.
I sleep so hard. Like, I mean, I already nap a lot as it is, but then
sorry.
when I'm like reaching the end of a book or on deadline or whatever, then I'm just like up all night and like, so I sleep. I'll like binge TV and everything, and I try not to look at it for a bit. And I'm always working on multiple things at once, so I'll have that and then I'll jump into something else.
Okay.
And which is always great for me because like. Then I spent enough time in the other book that I become exhausted by it, and I was like, oh, I don't want to work on these characters anymore.
Yeah.
And then I've had enough time away from the other book I just finished, so I get to go back there, and it's sort of like it's a great cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like learn how to balance it and
Yeah.
stuff like that. How do you balance writing, social media, and YouTube videos?
Well, YouTube definitely comes third for all that. Like I'm actually doing sort of a bit of a relaunch after I move into my new apartment. Yeah, so I mean to balance, like I mean I definitely make YouTube sort of the like the third priority there because I also work in publishing and but I mean it's writing always has to come first because that's definitely the #1 gig and that's what allows me to kind of like have access to so many readers as is, you know, and so yeah, I mean, but it's finding time. Like I have my laptop with me right now, like in between panels and signings today at Yallwest, like I'm going to be writing like in the green room. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What Harry Potter house are you in?
Okay, so Pottermore has sorted me into Ravenclaw, which is great because I love the aesthetic, and like those are my favorite colors, and you know birds are dope. But like, I sort of identify as like Hufflepuff or Slytherin. So if you're doing the hybrid houses, I would
So, like,
say
everything.
I'm a Slytherpuff. Like,
Slytherpuff. Yep. I'd
like
say I'm like a Ravendor.
Yeah, I like Slytherpuff because for me I am ambitious and everything, so I have that Slytherin ambition or whatever, but I don't use it in sort of like a cunning, devious way. Like I have a more Hufflepuff approach to it. Like I use my ambition and any success that comes my way to also help boost other people.
Okay.
And like and
So
that
that makes
feels
sense.
so like that feels like a healthy hybrid.
That's a good hybrid.
Yeah.
My last question is if you could branch out into writing into a completely different genre, like what would you want to kind of experiment with?
I think I'm gonna do like at some point I would love to do like an adult thriller.
Ooh,
I'm working on a fantasy right now, which is different than anything I've published so far. And I'm really excited. That's the book that I feel like I feel meant to write. Like you know it's you know it's like even when I brought it up with my editor, I was like I'm working on a fantasy. Like he wasn't saying anything like oh but this is outside of your established wheelhouse or whatever. This is so out of character for you. He's like no, you can always tell like in your books that like you're itching to write about other worlds as well. And especially in my first and third book, like they're speculative novels. So I mean it's our world with like a little sci-fi twist. But this is more like full-on fantasy, and I can't share any details yet because again things keep changing. But I mean that would probably come out in like 2019 or 2020 anyway.
Okay.
So like you'll have other books in between for me before you see that one. But yeah, so I'm working on that. But as for things that I don't have anything immediately in the pipeline for, like I think an adult thriller, and I also like. I think the most challenging thing for me would be historical. Like I love making stuff up.
Yeah.
So like you can't do that.
Yeah, you have to like actually do research.
Yeah.
You have to like try to get it right.
And I'm someone who like I already get caught up every couple paragraphs. I'm like, how do I do this thing in our real world or whatever? I'm like, I can only imagine like, oh, did they have this kind of fountain pen yet at this time or whatever? And like, did they have this kind of button? You know, just like so. I just feel like I'm gonna.
Because little details like that, like.
People will roast you.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna be like, that lantern didn't exist until 63 years later, and it's just
they'll show you like the article or whatever.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, like, props to you, you know? I'm just trying to tell a story. Like, the lantern's really not like the prominent thing here.
It's like I'm gonna do my own research.
Yeah. But I mean, you gotta admire it too. Like, it's just like, but yeah, that's why I just don't think I could do it. Like, it's I would need like years and years and years to like put that out. That's not a book that I'm gonna write in a year.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Well, thank you so much. All of his links will be down below. Thank you for doing
this was so fun. Thank you.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.